faire ici. Que vous avez découvert Ivoire TV. Ivoire TV.
Nigerians in the diaspora. Unfortunately, we're calling him now because he has an appointment. He has to leave us in a few minutes. That's why we're asking him to follow Ms. Buki, just in case, you know, we already had someone scheduled, but we wanted to skip the person, so bear with us. Bobby, over to you.
I want to, first of all, one nation, one continent,
one people.
One continent,
one people.
One continent,
one people.
Good morning, everyone. We're here united as Africans and human beings. Human beings and Africans. Enough is enough with the xenophobia. Enough is enough with the black-on-black killing. Enough is enough with the leaders looking the other way, knowing fully well what the issues are on the ground. People are unemployed. People have been marginalized. Yes. People are being prosecuted based on their nationality on the continent of Africa. It's an abomination. Yes. We as black folks, as people of African descent, Pan-Africanists, have fought, have shed our tears, have shed our blood, trying to unite our people. It's a shame that you have about 70% of South Africans who own about 80% of the land. That's right. These are the issues that we need to look at, inequality, and we need to begin to push for equity and equality. Equity and equality where people are able to lift themselves and they're able to work and earn a living. People of all race and creed, color, and you name it, should be able to live in a safe zone, safe community, and should be free of violence, free of attack on a section of population, and of all people, Nigerians and other Africans who stood united to speak against apartheid and who fought, who invested, who protested, and people who rallied, who suffered and sacrificed to make sure that South Africa is free today. And it's a shame that we are standing here when we should be celebrating and we should be talking about how do we collectively move ourselves forward. We stand here today advocating for people that are being marginalized, Nigerians and other nationals of all. So we stand here in front of the South African Embassy and Consulate to say that we need answers today and that we need actions immediately. So I say with my fellow brothers and sisters that are here that we will continue to fight, we will continue to protest and rally until we see a difference in South Africa. So once again, one nation,
one people.
One nation,
one people.
Africa,
united.
Africa,
united.
Thank you. My name is Bobby Digi. I am the president of Nigerian and Diaspora New York chapter. Look forward to more action in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, okay. All right. So we're gonna call Pastor James. He has a few words in addition to calling on the Almighty to protect us. He has a few words of wisdom to share with us. Pastor James.
All right. So thank you for this opportunity to gather in front of this building to protest in no uncertain terms that we are unhappy with what is going on in South Africa currently. And in my capacity as a clergy, I know that God made every human being in his image. Every human being, regardless of the color. All of us were made in the image of God. And the dignity and sanctity of life must always be preserved. And God was the one who determined where anybody can be. And when we find ourselves in other lands, apart from where we originally come from, either from Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa, as people respect the laws of the land, the people there must also respect the lives that have joined them in making life bearable for everybody. So on this note, I want to ask my South African brothers and sisters through this medium, and the leadership in particular, especially those who have been given the secular power to do that which is right for all people, not just their citizens, but all people, to awake and do that which is right. Because when they hear that South Africans are being killed or being beaten elsewhere, they will not be happy. And they can be sure that they have more South Africans outside, elsewhere. And some of them, we believe, may not be doing the right thing, but they have not been subjected to this kind of treatment. So I'm believing and I'm praying that the leadership in South Africa, both the clergy, the spiritual, the political, the economic, the business community, should rise up and do that which is right for their own people and for the people who, for whatever reason, may not be South Africans, but who find themselves in South Africa. On this note, we pray that God will give us the wisdom. God will give us the grace. God will give us the mercies. God will give us his love for us to do that which is right for everybody. Love be shed abroad in our hearts. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Pastor James. All right. So once again, one Africa, one Africa, one Africa, one Africa. Say no to xenophobia. 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 All right, thank you. So now we're going to have one of our leaders, one of the greatest African media personalities in New York, Mr. Mamadou Nyang. He's going to say a few words.
Yeah. Well, first I wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to come and lend our voice, and I thank the organizers also to aggregate us today. This is an incredible congregation of Africans. Now you look, this is not a large crowd, but each individual is from a different African country.
That's right.
But also there is some history in why we are here today. I'm sure you remember the Rainbow Nation.
Yes.
The Rainbow Nation is South Africa. You also remember Ubuntu, which is the Southern Africa and Eastern Africa philosophy of aggregating Africans under one single roof, one continental humanity. Those were the foundational values of South African ethos. We wanted to go back there today. This was rekindled, if you remember, in 1990 when Nelson Mandela walked out of prison. The galvanization of the entire continent. And then in 1994, 4 years later, you remember those long lines swatting across South Africa to vote for the first time. So the entire continent has contributed to that liberation.
That's right. That's right.
If I hear Nigerians today talk about the liberation dividend, they don't say, they're not meaning that South Africa owes them something. But we have to get some facts right now, today. Nigeria is not the largest exporter of immigrants to South Africa. South Africa is not the first destination of immigrants in Africa. South Africa is not the first sanctuary of African refugees in the continent. We don't know about Kenya. We don't talk about even Rwanda, who was receiving 300 Africans from Libya this month. We're not talking about Tanzania. We also have to account for, from 1960 to 1995, this is also a fact. Nigeria has bankrolled $61 billion to the South African struggle. And this is not the only continent, there's not the only country in Africa, but this is just Nigeria. Obasanjo has mustered the Nigerian elite in the Nigerian assembly to what he called the Mandela tax, for every fortune in Nigeria to contribute something toward the South African struggle. These are facts of history. Now, we are in difficult time now. We are at the corner of history, which means that immigration is just the medicines. Immigration is that bastard that around the world nobody wanted to talk about because it is labeled as something that is ingratiatingly, absolutely bad, that has to be defeated. There is no nation that hasn't grown without immigrants. And all of this xenophobic violence that we're seeing in South Africa, we believe that this sprang from apartheid and colonialism. There are so many Africans throughout the continent, not only in South Africa, but across so many different countries. It never had gotten to the point where we are killing other Africans in one African soil. So this is not the first time, but this has to stop. So there is a reality that we have to confront today and to tell South Africans that we understand the plight of South African poor. We also understand that you have lived centuries of oppression, struggle called apartheid, that we have joined you to fight. So this is our liberation. This is, that's again, our fight. And we have to fight to get this monster out of South Africa together, so we can find out that Africans, again, we can call for Ubuntu and the one nation, arc-en-ciel en français, cette nation de l'arc-en-ciel. Thank you.
Bravo, Mamadou. Thank you so much, Mamadou. Thank you. One Africa. One Africa, one Africa. Say no to xenophobia. Say no to xenophobia. Say no to xenophobia. Say no to xenophobia. Say no to. Say no to xenophobia. Say no to xenophobia. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to have one of our sisters, Queen Hajia Ramatu, to also say a few words. And we didn't plan to wear the same shirt, by the way.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before I start, let's observe a moment of silence for those killed in South Africa. Okay. Yes. We are here to condemn the killings of our brothers and sisters in South Africa. Before I start, I would like us to I would like you to listen to the beginning of the national anthem of South Africa, Inko Sisi Sekelele Africa. Inko Sisi Sekelele Africa means Inko Sekelele Africa means God bless Africa. And if God bless Africa, why are you killing your fellow Africans in South Africa? Your country has been soiled with blood over the land. And the people who are killing, they have blood soiled in their hands. There's no reason why you should kill your fellow African because they are taking your jobs. He said, no. And we don't accept that. The burning of people alive and killing them because they are your country is a crime against humanity. And therefore we call on all the world to take action from coast to coast. South Africa diamond, boycott. South Africa gold and wine, boycott. South Africa metals, boycott. South Africa coal, boycott. Intellectual properties, boycott. Tourism, boycott. How do you forget so quick, South Africans? Yes, we have some good South Africans who are against what is happening in South Africa. But the bad ones and your leaders who are the wicked ones, this is your message. How do you forget our forefathers? Patrice Lumumba, Jomo Kenyatta, Julius Nyerere, and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How do you forget? Madiba Nelson Mandela. Your people have betrayed you. Your leaders have betrayed you. South Africa has betrayed you. Your Ubuntu, I am because of you. Your legacy, your cradle for peace is in shambles. Madiba, South Africa is in shambles. And we promise you, we Africans, not the South Africans, we are going to maintain and protect your legacy. Your people from South Africa have betrayed you. And since South Africa has no factory to manufacture human beings, you have no right to kill people. We are here as peacemakers and will always fight for the rights of foreigners in South Africa. Our message is this. South Africans, vent your anger and frustrations on your leaders. They are the thieves conniving with enemies of progress to steal from your country. And when the government dislikes black people, you don't kill them. You send them back to their countries. When you claim that Africans are taking your jobs, you don't kill them. You send them back to your countries. You don't burn their shops. You send them safely to their respective countries. And when they break the law, you don't kill them. You tell them to leave your country in peace. Mother Africa is upset because you are killing her children. Mother Africa is upset because you are killing her children. Therefore, we call on the United Nations. We call on African Union. We call on ECOWAS. We call on SADC to take action against South Africa. And we are all going to boycott everything that is made in South Africa until we see justice. Until we see justice is served to those who are killed in South Africa. And if we don't see anything, we are not convinced that action is taken in South Africa, a luta continua. The struggle continues. A luta continua. The struggles continues. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Ajia. One Africa. One Africa. One Africa. All right. Thank you, Ajia Ramotu. Our next speaker is Mr. Richard Iyasere, also from Nigeria. Daddy Rich.
One Africa.
One people.
One Africa.
One people.
My colleagues have said enough. People have talked about the history. I don't want to go all of that. This is what I want to say. Xenophobia is evil. Xenophobia is a beautiful word they're using to cover crime. This is a crime. This is killing of human beings is a crime. This beautiful word, xenophobia, I don't know where it came from. This is a crime, and that's what the South African government have to say, and that's what they have to treat it as a crime. They are killing human beings, killing fellow other Africans. Since when an African is a foreigner in Africa? Since when? Who's going to tell me that an African is a foreigner in Africa? This got to stop. And it got to stop now. And we will not stop. This is just the beginning. We will not stop until we hear and see something happening. The South African government have to do something now. They might run away today, but we're coming for you. We will not stop. That's all I got to say for now. Thank you.
One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. One Africa.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that we're right here in front of the South African consulate in New York. And we understand that last night they rushed out a press release to say that they're going to be closing early today. So the office opened at 9 a.m. and they dispersed their staff at 11 o'clock. You can run from the building. You can't run from your responsibility. You can't run from the building. You can't run from the world. We're asking the United Nations, the African Union, and South African President Maposa to make sure that they speak up and stand up and condemn xenophobia in Africa. Africa, unite. Africa, unite. Africa, unite. Africa,
unite. Thank you. Thank you, Buki. Our next speaker, Mr. Bakari Tanja.
Brothers and sisters, thank you very much for coming to protest against the violence, senseless violence in South Africa against Africans, particularly our brothers and sisters from Nigeria. I can't believe that this is happening in the country of Bishop Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela, the symbol of peace and tolerance in the world. In appreciation of his exceptional human qualities, the international community has adopted a resolution declaring 2019-2028 the Nelson Mandela Decade of Peace. So the mass killings that have been happening there are in sharp contrast with the spirit of Mandela. What is happening is a shame for South Africa. It is a shame for Africa. It is a shame for humanity. This is a serious failure on the part of the government because they have deliberately encouraged the culture of impunity. We truly thank the leaders and the regular citizens who have decided to protest against the senseless killing. So let's fight together to make sure that human rights and human dignity are respected in South Africa. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. Let's do it together. Thank you very much.
Stop xenophobia in South Africa. 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 One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. One Africa. One Africa. One Africa. One Africa. One Africa. All right, now we're going to have the youth. Mr. Mbaki Cham is going to speak on behalf of the youth. Mbaki.
One Africa.
One people.
One Africa.
One people.
One Africa.
One people.
Thank you very much to our, everyone who is here under the rain, and standing up and protesting against this fight. And I'm telling you, this is a noble fight. We have to fight because in the back of it, there is white people, there is white supremacists. And remember that apartheid was a couple of years ago. And today we are facing African black people killing West African. We cannot keep ourselves silent. We have to speak up and tell the truth. So this is a fight, and if they keep doing it, we're going to keep fighting as well. Let us remember again that the political power is in the black South African, but the economic power is still in the white supremacists. That's what we have to remember. So this is a struggle. At the same time, the South African and the West African should have been here under the rain and fighting with us. Because if this fight, we win it, the first one who will benefit from it will be for the South African, and especially the black Africans, the black South Africans are me. So we have to fight, and we're going to keep fighting, and nothing will prevent us from the fight, not even raining or snowing. We will stand up here, fight and fight and fight until they understand what we do and until they get with us on the same page. Thank you so much to everyone, especially our fathers, our uncles, and our sisters who are here fighting so that we can stop this xenophobia in South Africa. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Mbaki. Thank you. Thank you. One Africa. 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 All right. I need another lady now. Come on, Mariam.
Thank you very much. My name is Miriam Agbelusi. I'm here to stand in solidarity with our African brothers and sisters that are being killed, the people that are being maltreated in South Africa. It's not fair. We all Africans. Africa for Africans. Right. You shouldn't kill your brothers. We have the same color, we have the same texture, we have the same thickness. Please stop killing Africans in South Africa. My parents told me how much they have to save from their daily stipends. The money they give them for food, even in school, the people that work, they take out of their salaries to fight against apartheid in South Africa. We shouldn't pay your brothers like this. Stop killing Africans in South Africa. Right. Say no to xenophobia. 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 Say no to xenophobia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mariam. Thank you so much. Mr. Ambrose Ngande from Cameroon. Ambrose.
Yeah. Well, one Africa. One Africa.
One people.
Really, brothers and sisters, let's stop the killing. We are all one. What do we say if it's a white man that does it to us? We complain, but we turn around and do it to ourselves. Respect to the community, respect anybody like a human being. On the xenophobia, let's stop it. Let's stop it. It's not a good business in Africa. Divide and conquer. The other people are happy to see us fighting among ourselves. Right. So they can come back and say, oh, we want to put an order in the house and then take over the place. So please, one Africa,
one people,
one Africa,
one people.
Stop the evil job of killing people. We can kill ourselves. One Africa,
one people.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have one of the main organizers of this rally, Mr. Dudu Madiba Stevens Cisse. Yes. He's going to speak English and French.
Bonsoir tout le monde. C'est dommage, on se retrouve devant un hôpital. C'est dommage qu'on n'a pas de sonorisation. Mais de toute façon, aujourd'hui, avec la nouvelle technologie, le monde entier nous regarde. Ils sont très nombreux, ceux qui se sont battus aux côtés du peuple sud-africain dans sa longue marche vers la liberté pendant l'apartheid. Nous connaissons nos différents chefs d'État. Je veux parler des Senghor, de Félix Houphouët-Boigny, de Sékou Touré et bien d'autres, des journalistes du monde entier. Le peuple africain s'est mobilisé pour soutenir et défendre l'apartheid. Puis nous avons eu la liberté de Nelson Mandela et le monde entier était heureux pour l'Afrique du Sud. Nous avons soutenu la Coupe du monde de football en 2010 L'Afrique s'est mobilisée pour soutenir l'Afrique s'est mobilisée pour soutenir l'Afrique du Sud pour la Coupe du Monde en 2010. Ils étaient contents. Voici que depuis quelques années, nos brothers et nos sisters sont humiliés. En mai 2018, il y a eu 62 morts à Johannesburg et à Durban. 62 morts en 2008. Ils ont tué des frères africains en 2008. 62 morts. Il n'y a pas eu de justice. En 2015, il y a eu 7 morts. On a pillé les biens, on a cassé les magasins. Nous sommes en 2009. Et aujourd'hui, nous sommes en 2019. Et depuis quelques semaines, mesdames et messieurs, chers frères africains, vous le savez, ils ont tué, ils ont volé, ils ont pillé nos frères. Nous sommes à 10 morts. La police sud-africaine dit qu'ils ont arrêté 300 personnes. Mais vous le savez, il n'y a pas de justice. Et ces 300 personnes, ils vont les libérer. C'est sûr, ils vont les libérer. Mesdames et messieurs, nous devons nous mobiliser. Nous devons nous mobiliser pour qu'il y ait une justice, pour dire non à la violence en Afrique du Sud, non aux assassinats, non à la xénophobie. Pourquoi brûler nos frères africains? Il faut qu'il y ait une justice, mesdames et messieurs. Il faut qu'il y ait une justice. Julius Malema, un des leaders sud-africains, leur disait: nous pouvons chasser de notre sol tous nos frères africains, mais vous verrez qu'il n'y aura toujours pas de travail en Afrique du Sud. Il a dit encore: regardez ce que vous faites à vos propres frères africains. Cela prouve que vous ne vous aimez pas vous-même, mesdames et messieurs. Nous demandons solennellement à nos dirigeants africains de mener des discussions immédiates avec le gouvernement de l'Afrique du Sud, car trop c'est trop. Nous demandons au président de l'Union africaine de se déplacer sur le terrain pour parler aux dirigeants sud-africains, mesdames et messieurs. Nous demandons aux citoyens africains de boycotter la destination sud-africaine. Nous demandons à nos artistes africains de boycotter les spectacles en Afrique du Sud, comme l'a fait Tina Savage et Burna Boy du Nigeria, mesdames et messieurs. Nous demandons à la Confédération africaine de football, la CAF, de suspendre l'Afrique du Sud de toutes les compétitions, mesdames et messieurs. Nous demandons justice pour nos frères africains. Justice pour nos frères africains. Justice pour nos frères africains. Stop à la xénophobie. Stop à la xénophobie. Get up, stand up, Africa. Get up, stand up, Africa. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup, Dudu. Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker, Miss Yvonne. We want a lady. Yvonne, come on here. Dr. Balde, you next.
I don't have much to say. I just have a question. Did those people in South Africa, they think about Nelson Mandela? No. They think Nelson Mandela is arresting the peace now?
No.
They don't love Nelson Mandela. They don't love Africa. Stop xenophobia. Now, South Africa. South Africa, shame on you.
Yes.
South Africa, shame on you. Shame on you. Et je demande à tous les dirigeants africains de se lever comme un seul homme contre cette xénophobie en Afrique du Sud. Parce que ça a commencé en Afrique du Sud. Le prochain pays, c'est où? La question. Le prochain pays, c'est où? Arrêtons maintenant. Arrêtons maintenant. Tout le monde derrière, tous ceux qui sont ici, on vous dit merci. Tout le monde derrière, pour qu'on dise non à ce qui se passe en Afrique du Sud, parce que ça peut arriver dans d'autres pays. Merci, je vous remercie d'avoir pris de votre temps de venir ici. La Côte d'Ivoire, le Bénin, l'Afrique, une seule. Mother Africa is crying today. Is crying today. Let's be proud of our Mother Africa. Stop doing what you're doing in South Africa. Shame on you. Shame on you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Balde. From Guinea. Africa is here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But it's very shame from the country where we know Nelson Mandela coming from very same. If he was at life today, what we will see, he shall be dead in his own room when he hear this Ghana Roma. Please, let South African people know what is the history. Tell them to go back to history of South Africa. They want to know what is South Africa. All African stand up together in order to bring peace in South Africa. Today, yesterday I hear one of the South African guy, he said we're gonna kill all foreigner. We don't need anyone in our country. We have to tell these people they have to get education. They have to get education. They have to do what is a human being. Only God give life. He's the only one he's supposed to take life. God said he created us from men and women. We are all equal. And then put us in different area in order for us to know each other, to competize. But today, we see this kind of xenophobia going on in South Africa. We all gonna cry because we know who was Nelson Mandela. He was not just for African, he was standing for peace for all over the world. Right. Let them go back to school, learn what is history and what is the value of human being. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Baldi. Thank you. Thank you. We have African communities together here. Who is going to speak on behalf of African communities together? Kadim, you're going to speak on behalf of African communities together. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hadim. I represent African communities together. So we represent all African communities in New York City, also in the country, and that shows us a message that we are all African and we share the same experiences, and we have to support one another, right? And so, you know, it's interesting this is happening now because it was all the African countries that stood up, supported, and helped to fund the anti-apartheid movement. And to South Africans who are struggling, you know, economically, the problem is not migrants, it's actually the top 1% who is owning all of your economy, who are not black, actually. So think about that. Stop the violence. That we need to come together. And this is not all South Africans, so let's not just, you know, paint like a single brush and say everyone in South Africa hates other Africans. But we need to just bring voice to the violence and to help people and to understand that we're all together in this. Keep up the fight, and I hope they can hear us loud and hear us in DC also, and also all over the world. Thank you. Forward ever, backwards never. Forward ever,
backward never. Thank you. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Mariama Jallo. Mariama.
Good afternoon, my brother and sisters. I can't talk right now because when I want to say something, my heart is very full. So how can South African black brothers kill your own brother and call that xenophobia? I blame the South African government to allow this to happen. I blame my African president, African United, to allow this to happen. How can they sit in their own seat comfortably allow this to happen? Please stop it. It's not really funny. You cannot kill your own brothers. I can't speak.
She's getting emotional. Thank you so much, Mariama. We have the president of the Niger community here. Niger, okay, mon frère.
Okay, hi everyone. This is the Association of the Nationals of Niger. We are here really to disapprove what happened in South Africa. It's very unfortunate at a time when we are trying to put all the pieces of Africa together to be one and only one in order to stand and fight in the modern world. At the time when everywhere people are noticing that the whole world is becoming a village. That things like that happen is very, very, very heartbreaking. We don't want this to happen anywhere in Africa, especially in the country of a great man like Nelson Mandela. This is tragic. It's really tragic on all Africans, even those who are not here with me today because of work. As we know, this country, we have other responsibilities. But really, everybody is really disappointed. Everybody is heartbroken, and we don't want this type of thing to happen again. Never. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, thank you. Napoleon from the Comoros Island.
Bonjour, mes frères et sœurs. I come to you to speak, on behalf of Comorian Islands people, African people. Let's not act like we don't know how colonialism destroyed our continent. They took everything. They raped us. They raped our lands, took our resources. Apartheid was one of the examples of the worst of humanity. And even though apartheid is so-called over, there's still problems in South Africa. And these politicians are using Trump-like tactics to sow racism, xenophobia, and pit us one against each other, leading into these killings because there's poverty. People are uneducated. They don't know any better. So it's time for us to raise awareness. It's time for these politicians to take responsibility for the system that is keeping so few people rich and so many people poor without jobs, looking for each other to kill each other to live a better life. It's not right. This neocolonialism has to stop. This system has to stop. We must stand united, all together, all Africans, wherever you're from, wherever in the world. This is a message of humanity. This is a message of peace. Shame on the politicians in South Africa. All the other politicians in Africa must speak up. They must go there. They must put pressure economically, boycott them, artists, tourism, everything, until this is addressed seriously, until this is stopped. I speak in solidarity. One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. Thank you for everybody here. Merci, mes frères et sœurs.
Merci, Napoleon. Junior Makinda. Junior.
Thank you, my brother, Mohammed. You want me to say something in French? Yes. Okay. I'm very sad to stand here today in New York City to protest against another African. It's a shame for us. We shouldn't be here to protest against one another, against our own brothers and sisters. What is happening in South Africa today is unacceptable. It's been going on for years now, and everybody is saying, everybody is looking, no one is saying anything. Our brothers, young black Africans, are dying in South Africa, are being killed by other Africans, South Africans, black Africans, in the most gruesome way. C'est inacceptable, c'est intolérable, c'est impardonnable. The most shocking thing is that our leaders, presidents, leaders of African Union are looking and being silent. They are all silent. Why are you so silent? Why are you so silent, our African leaders? Are you thinking of Nelson Mandela? Are you thinking of Miriam Makeba? When you kill your own brothers, what are you thinking of? When you're burning your own brother on the street, when you're... It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's time to rise up and condemn. Not only condemn, it's time to take action. Real action. Next week, there is a UN General Assembly. African president will be around. They will come here to have their global annual meeting and talk and talk. I don't think this is all we have to do. We have to repeat this next week, from next week, and let them know that what is happening is not right. that they have the responsibility to protect our own people. They have the responsibility to teach us love, to teach us how to share, to teach us hospitality. Because Africa is one land. It's the land of our fathers. It's the land of our mothers. It's our motherland. There is no reason for an African to kill, to burn another African for the so-called pretext that he's stealing his job. We are expecting that from other people, but not from our own brothers from South Africa that we supported during the apartheid. This is unacceptable. It must stop right now. Il est temps que nos leaders africains prennent la parole et posent des actes concrets. Monsieur le Président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, il est temps que l'Union africaine pose des actes concrets pour que ça s'arrête. Il est temps que tous les présidents africains qui ont des communautés en Afrique du Sud en ce moment se lèvent et prennent des mesures fermes, répressives contre le gouvernement sud-africain. Nous n'avons pas ce pouvoir. Nous avons fait ce que nous pouvons en étant ici aujourd'hui en face de la mission en face du consulat de l'Afrique du Sud à New York aux États-Unis, qui est d'ailleurs une honte pour nous les Africains d'être en plein New York et de dire non et de protester contre un autre pays africain. C'est inacceptable. C'est une honte pour l'Afrique, mais nous devons le faire parce que vous ne faites pas ce que vous devez faire. Chers dirigeants africains, prenez vos responsabilités et arrêtez le massacre qui est en cours. Chers dirigeants sud-africains, parlez à vos populations parce que nous sommes un seul peuple, l'Afrique, un seul peuple, le peuple noir. One people, one love. One Africa,
one people.
Merci, je vous remercie.
Merci, Junior. Merci, Junior. Okay, so we just about wrapping up. Yeah, I just saw Alize, and we also have Mamadi Jallo.
We need to put in some energy here. Say after me. If you don't know where you came from,
if you don't know where you came from,
you don't know where you are going.
you don't know where you're going.
If you don't know where you came from,
If you don't know where you came from,
you don't know where you are going.
you don't know where you're going.
If you don't know where you came from,
If you don't know where you came from,
you don't know where you're going.
you don't know where you're going.
South Africans, I'm asking you to go back and read your history books, especially black South Africans. Africans around the continent sacrificed a lot. We sacrificed a lot for the liberation of South Africa.
That's right.
Lives were lost. In Tanzania, in Ethiopia, in Mozambique, in Zimbabwe, in Zambia. Those countries provided training ground for South African freedom fighters. The ANC was based in Lusaka. Nigeria spent millions of dollars to support the liberation struggle. Ghana was the inspiration for the freedom fighters in South Africa. I remember reading my history books in Sierra Leone. Mandela visited Sierra Leone. The founding father, Sir Milton Magai, provided Nelson Mandela the highest honor, allowed him to address the parliament of Sierra Leone, one of the first people to address the Sierra Leone parliament after independence. All over Africa, from Guinea, Mali, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Togo, Benin, Congo, Central Africa, every country from east to west, north, south, Algeria, Morocco, every single country in Africa provided support to South Africa. Yes, we knew some African leaders were with the Western government, but the African people, 100%, even those countries where they have those bad leaders who are supporting the West, their people supported the anti-apartheid struggle. They sent their money, they sacrificed. Tanzania was bombed by the apartheid government. Mozambique, the former president of Mozambique, Sambora Machel, was killed because of his support for ANC and the liberation movement. So please, South Africans, don't be an ungrateful nation. Africa is one continent. Africa, we are one people. support your African brothers. I'm calling on the South African government because they are ignoring calls to protect Africans in South Africa. And remember, most of the people now in government in South Africa, they were traveling with passports from other African countries. I remember a lot of African countries that were giving blank passport to ANC. Blank, can you remember that? Can you imagine that? Blank passport. Thousands of it, give it to ANC, go with it, sign it, give it to your people. They will travel all over the world. So please, my brothers and sisters in South Africa, go back and read your history. Go back. The people you are looking today as your friends, those are the people that were against you. Those are the people that were supporting the apartheid, the racist government. So the people that were with you, that spend money, spend time, sacrifice their life. Today you call them migrants. Migrants? You call me a migrant in South Africa, a black man like me, a migrant? That's an insult not only to me, but an insult to you, an insult to your history, an insult for everything you stand for. So come together, Africa. Come together, South Africa. We are one. We are not against you. We are your people. We are your brothers. We are your sisters. Let all come together and make Africa great. And Africa has been always great, but we still have to make it greater. Yes. So all my brothers here, thank you for coming here. We want everyone here to share this information, to spread it, that xenophobic attacks is evil. Xenophobic attack is that it must stop now. Yes. It must stop now. Yes. Say it. Xenophobic attack must stop now.
Xenophobic attack must stop now.
Xenophobic attacks must stop now.
Xenophobic attack must stop now.
Thank you all. Now. Must stop now. Must stop now. Must stop now. One Africa, one people. One Africa, one people. Be your brother's keeper. United we stand. Say it. Be your brother's keeper. United we stand. Africa united against xenophobia. We are one Africa. Thank you all, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mohamed Jallo. Thank you.
I got some message from for South African people, just few message. Killing your brother is not going to give you a job. Killing your brother is not going to give you happiness. My message for South Africa people is this. Shame on you. My message for the South African people is this. My message for the South African people is this. My message for South African people is this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, our final speaker, Miss Alize.
I just want to say, like, it's a very big shame to see, like, especially in South Africa, they are killing our brothers and sisters. I mean, for the international world to see that, it's a shame, and it's truly heartbreaking to see that, especially for South Africa, where so many African nations fought for the freedom. We are there to fight back, and today, like, you know, we see this atrocity against our brothers and sisters. We need to stop that. We need to stop this xenophobia. We need to be united to show to the world that Africa is one people, one love. So it's really not, it's so negative to see that. So please, South Africa, the government, do something. Don't let our brothers and sisters, you know, being killed like that. It's very important to show a message of unity, because then they're going to say, again, black people, we don't know how to show solidarity, not unity. We need to be united to show like we can do positive things, not showing like we are killing our brothers and sisters. So please stop all of this nonsense. We are one people, one continent, Africa. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we're just about wrapping up. We need everybody to come closer. Come up here, please, everyone. You're going to take one picture, but we want the message we're sending today. We want the whole world to know that Africans in the diaspora, Africans in New York, we're not standing still to what is happening in South Africa. We are saying that we stand united against xenophobia in South Africa. We are saying that we are the protectors of Mandela's legacy, not our brothers and sisters in South Africa. What you are doing, you are shaming the legacy of Mandela. You are shaming the legacy of Steve Biko. You are shaming the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You are shaming the legacy of Julius Nyerere. You are shaming the legacy of Kenneth Kaunda. You are shaming the legacy of all the freedom fighters that stood with you during the apartheid era. Africans, we stand together and we will continue this fight until you stop killing our brothers and sisters in South Africa. We should be one people to develop the continent, not to divide the continent. So we thank all of you for being here this afternoon. We're going to continue this fight. Look out for more rallies and demonstrations until the killing stops. Until the killing stops. We will continue to speak up. We will continue to stand up. Africa is united and we will continue to fight until this stops. One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. Stop xenophobia in South Africa. 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 One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. One Africa. One people. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Woo!
Yeah, let me also just leave you with one message. What's going on in South Africa is not about immigrants. If you don't remember anything, remember this. What's going on in South Africa is about poverty and inequality. That is what the African government, the South African government, the African leaders, they should speak up and stand up for what's right and not pretend that immigrants are taking jobs in South Africa. But that is not the issue. The issue is inequality and poverty. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Ok, nous sommes là pour... on est là... Je sais pas que...
Ceux qui sont venus là. C'est elle qui doit parler.
Madame, nous sommes devant la mission sud-africaine ici à New York, où les Africains se sont mobilisés pour venir exprimer leur ras-le-bol par rapport à la violence qui se passe aujourd'hui en Afrique du Sud. Qu'est-ce que vous pouvez dire à ce sujet?
Vraiment, pendant la traite, tous les Africains ont marché, pleuré pour Nelson Mandela. Nous croyons qu'on avait les mêmes couleurs. Et c'est maintenant on remarque qu'ils n'aiment pas nous, ils ne nous aiment pas, tu vois. Parce que pour Nelson Mandela, c'était un Africain, tout le monde a pleuré pour lui pendant la traite. Tout le monde a marché pendant la traite. Mais je ne comprends pas, c'est le seul pays où les Blancs habitent. Et pourquoi ils ne peuvent pas chasser les Blancs? C'est les Noirs qui viennent chasser. C'est les Noirs qui les ont supportés dans tous les plans. C'est eux là qui viennent chasser. Vraiment, ça fait honte de voir que la couleur noire brûle la couleur noire. On ne peut même pas regarder. Quand on t'envoie les photos, tu as honte de toi-même. On a honte dans ces pays où on est ici. Ils sont en train de nous chasser déjà. Et qu'est-ce qu'on dira à Trump alors? Trump nous chasse. Et les Africains aussi nous chassent. Et moi, j'ai cru que maintenant l'Afrique devait s'entendre pour parler une phrase, pour être une seule personne. Mais aujourd'hui, on ne comprend pas l'Afrique du Sud. Peut-être qu'ils veulent être des Blancs. Mais sinon, nous croyons que les Africains, nous sommes tous égaux, on est les mêmes. C'est ce que je voulais dire. On est ici pour combattre, pour que ça s'arrête. Mais je voulais lancer un mot à nos présidents, à nos responsables. Qu'est-ce qu'ils font? On n'entend pas les voix. Il y a les tueries, il y a vos ressortissants, il y a vos compatriotes qu'on est en train de tuer. Vous deviez lever vos voix pour parler à ces présidents. C'est comme un pays qui n'a pas de président. Il a parlé une seule fois, on n'a plus entendu. qu'est-ce qui ne va pas? On essaie d'arrêter les gens, après on va les relâcher. Et ce qu'on a brûlé là, où est la justice? Nous voulons la justice, c'est pour ça qu'on est ici aujourd'hui. Merci.
Je vous remercie. Monsieur Tandia, vous qui servez la communauté africaine ici, au service African Community,
Ouais.
qu'est-ce que ça vous fait lorsque vous voyez de la xénophobie en Afrique du Sud, des Noirs qui tuent des Noirs? Qu'est-ce que ça vous fait alors qu'ici aux États-Unis, votre service sert tous les Noirs, tous les Africains?
Merci en tout cas pour cette question. Ce qui se passe ou ce qui s'est passé en Afrique du Sud, c'est plus que révoltant. Surtout quand on considère l'histoire de l'Afrique du Sud, parce que la lutte contre l'apartheid, ce n'était pas une question africaine, ce n'était pas une question sud-africaine, c'était une question africaine, c'était une question internationale, parce que le continent et le monde d'une manière générale s'est mobilisé pour lutter contre l'apartheid, parce que nous considérons que c'est inhumain, c'est cruel, c'est inacceptable. Et en plus, quand tu considères la dimension de Bishop Desmond Tutu, quand tu considères la dimension de Nelson Mandela, et d'ailleurs, durant l'Assemblée générale, chaque année, il y a un sommet spécial concernant la paix intitulé le sommet de Mandela. Et d'ailleurs, l'année dernière, la communauté internationale a décrété 2019 à 2028 comme la décade de la paix dénommée Mandela. Donc, ces symboles forts, ces symboles qui représentent l'espoir, le fait de voir sur le sol sud-africain des tueries insensées, des Sud-Africains qui tuent leurs frères et leurs sœurs, ça c'est indescriptible, c'est révoltant. Tout le monde doit se mobiliser pour lutter contre ça. Et nous pensons aussi qu'en partie, il y a la responsabilité du gouvernement. Bon, comme vous le savez, l'impunité engendre l'impunité et encourage le crime. Si dès le départ, le gouvernement avait pris la responsabilité de faire justice comme il se devait, ça allait totalement décourager. Bon, c'est comme, en fait, ce qu'on voyait, c'est comme un pays anarchique et sans gouvernement. Donc, ce qui fait que nous, en tant qu'activistes, c'est un devoir moral, c'est un impératif moral pour nous de nous organiser et de dénoncer cette situation, de protester contre cette situation et d'interpeller les leaders sud-africains, d'interpeller les leaders du continent africain et la communauté internationale pour se mobiliser afin non seulement de corriger cette situation, mais de mettre sur pied des mécanismes de prévention. Donc voilà, c'est le message que je voulais partager avec la communauté internationale.
Je vous remercie.
Merci.
Amis téléspectateurs, nous sommes toujours en face de la mission sud-africaine ici à New York, juste pour protester contre la xénophobie qui se passe en Afrique du Sud en ce moment. Et donc, Madame, vous avez 2 mots à dire encore par rapport à la tuerie de l'Afrique du Sud, où les Africains tuent les Africains.
Oui, j'appelle tous les leaders africains de se lever et faire quelque chose contre ça. Parce que moi, je ne peux pas imaginer que les leaders africains restent dans leur fauteuil de 16 et regarder ce qui se passe en Afrique du Sud. Ce n'est pas normal du tout. Vraiment, ce n'est pas normal. Je suis vraiment en colère quand je parle de ça parce que je ne vois pas pourquoi ils ne se lèvent pas pour faire quelque chose contre les leaders de Sud-Africains parce que c'est comme il n'y en a pas de sécurité, il n'y en a pas de police là-bas. les gens tuent les gens, les noirs tuent les noirs comme des moutons, tuent leurs frères comme des moutons. Et personne ne fait rien. J'ai regardé quelques vidéos que les polices barrent les étrangers pour ne pas passer de l'autre côté. Pour laisser de l'autre côté, tu vois les Sud-Africains en train de tuer les étrangers, mais les autres étrangers, on s'est barré au milieu avec les voitures de police. Mais ça, ce n'est pas normal. Il faut que l'ONU ou ONIA ou je ne sais pas, les leaders africains de se lever et faire quelque chose contre ça. Merci.
Je vous remercie. Miss, voilà. Nous sommes donc devant la mission sud-africaine ici à New York, dans le cadre d'une manifestation contre la xénophobie et la violence qui se passe en Afrique du Sud. Les Africains sont sortis pour exprimer donc leur rancœur et leur ras-le-bol. Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles et Messieurs, nous sommes donc à Afrique Vision Nouvelle ici à New York.